Let's do this. Hello. Welcome back to Conversations with Chlo, Season 2. My name is Chloe Rihanna. I am your host. We revamped it a bit, we really turned it into a whole, situation. You can not only hear me, but you can see me. Woo! How wonderful is that? This will now be available on Spotify and on YouTube. So whichever one you want. If you want to hear me, then you can hear me. If you want to see me and hear me, you can do both. Do you get? So welcome back, guys. I am aware that I made one episode and then I dipped. About this time, actually, last year, I made one episode and then I disappeared and there was no more podcast, which I'm not too sure if I apologize for. I don't know, life really be lifing, you know what I mean? And I really wanted to make sure when I came back, I was in a good space. Last year was a lot of healing, a lot of rediscovering myself, a lot of, really diving deep into the pool of Chlo and whatever she had going on there. And so, that's what she was doing. I also really do value or see this platform as something that has high regard and high value in my head. And so I don't just want to be speaking from brokenness. I wanted to make sure that I took the time I needed to heal. And maybe one day she might, as in me, she might talk about where she went and what actually happened. But maybe not. But I'm back. That's all them. Nearly knocked over my water bowl. I'm back, and that's all that really matters. So in today's episode, I am going to be talking about self-talk. So what is it? You ask, what is self-talk, you ask? Well, according to Google, actually the Merriam-Webster people that make definitions for things. The definition of self-talk is talk or thoughts directed at oneself. So basically, what goes on inside your head, okay? How you talk to yourself. And cool. So that's what self-talk is. Is it important? I don't know. I think it is. I think it's quite important. I think the way we speak to ourselves impacts on everything, on how we talk to others, how we respond to things. I think it's so important. And I've decided to go all technical. And I've got a few studies that I, literally found that I thought was sick. So I did my Googles and I actually found some studies to back up my argument. Who am I? Who is she? So this is a study from Warden University about how positive self-talk can make you feel better and be more productive. I'm just going to take a little excerpt. Is it excerpt? I'm going to take a little I think it is excerpt. I'm going to take a little excerpt from their website. And it says, some of the first psychological, let's go again. And it says, Some of the first psychological research on self-talk dates to the 1880s. And across the years, much of the research has focused on the fields, courts, and arenas of sports. And then it goes on to talk about, like, you know, it's relating to rational emotive behavior therapy by Albert Ellis and Aaron Beck's cognitive therapy. If you don't know what I'm talking about, these people are therapists and psychotherapists and just like people that study the brain. And they basically said, it's good. We should do it more. And yeah, should I read this? Yeah, I'm going to just read a little bit from it. It says, in the research literature, which is self-talk in sport and performance, it says that both instructional, I can't speak English. Both instructional and motivational talk have been shown to enhance performance. And so I think they're talking about in sport, it is very good to have good self-talk. Asked about the power of self-talk, one skilled tennis player in recreational leagues in Palm Beach County, Florida, said simply, "Oh my gosh, it's everything," pertaining to self-talk and positive self-talk. Track and field legend Carl Lewis once said, "My thoughts before a big race are usually pretty simple. I tell myself, get out of the blocks, run your race, stay relaxed. If you run your race, you'll win. Channel your energy and focus." It worked for Lewis, who won 9 Olympic gold medals and 1 silver. So basically, it's very important to have good self-talk, positive self-talk. And all these sports people that do things that require a very good inner self voice person thing, they need good self-talk. Some of the positives of having good positive self-talk is that it can increase lifespan, it can lower depression, or lower rates of depression. It can lower levels of distress. You can have better psychological and physical well-being. You can have better cardiovascular health and reduce risk of death from cardiovascular disease. And last but not least, it's better coping skills towards or during hardships and times of stress. So basically, having a good self-talk or a positive self-talk is actually sick, you know. And that just backs up what I'm going to talk about today, or have already. The research says that having positive self-talk is good. And so what is positive self-talk? I think it's just being kind to yourself. I think a lot of positive self-talk is learned. Actually, no, I'm going to go back on that, because positive self-talk isn't always being kind to yourself. I think maybe it's being loving to yourself and honest with yourself. And I think love is not all fairy-dairy, you know, rainbows and candy floss and all that. I think true love as a Christian is based on Christ and God, and Jesus' sacrifice and that. And that wasn't that pretty, you know. Dying on a cross doesn't really sound that pretty and fluffy and like candy floss. It kind of sounds like a lot of pain and sacrifice. So yeah, basically I think that it is being loving to yourself. And so sometimes you're going to have to be like, square yourself up and hold a meeting. Like, have you seen that meme with that girl, with that black girl? Like, and she's like sitting around the table, and I think it says like, she's holding like a meeting with herself, and like she's photoshopped her into like all the other chairs on the table. Like sometimes that's what positive self-talk looks like actually squaring yourself up and being like, my G, is you okay? Is you okay? Because I want to know. Do you guys remember Glozell? Like, what happened to her? Like, she was like really entertaining. And literally the only thing I can see in my head of Glozell is her coughing out cinnamon. All right, here we go. So, yeah, what happened to Glozell? She's been on my mind for like the last week. Ask my friends. Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about now. Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit, activate. 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 I spent all that energy singing that song, and now that's all I've activated. Oh. What was you saying, Chloe? Let's look at my notes. Yeah, so what are some of the positive ways that we can talk to ourselves? And I think it is positive self-talk, and I think it is being loving to yourself. And being loving to yourself can look like loads of different things. It can look like I said, having a really honest chat with yourself and being like, you need some work. That ain't cool. I think loads of people don't do that enough in a loving way. I think they have critical self-talk, but not necessarily loving critical self-talk. I think they have like, oh my gosh, like maybe it's just insecurities. They have like, oh my gosh, like I'm not good at this, and I suck, I'm so trash, I'm so rubbish. And they don't necessarily do anything with that information, and they don't even test the information. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, someone when they're 12 can say that they're not good at sport, and for the rest of their life, they've decided that that's the truth. But, you know, a loving person would kind of like be like, I don't think you're right. Let's put it to the test. And so they may have actually been right, and you may actually suck at sport. But do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I think I've lost my point of thought. I don't know what I'd be saying. But yeah, I think it is being loving, and it is kind of doing what you need to do. I think positive self-talk is kind of treating yourself like a child, like your own child, hopefully one that you care about. And so I've really been doing that of late, like really trying to be like, Chlo, you're hungry. You should eat. You haven't eaten yet. Or be like, that's not taking good care of yourself. Like, I'm sorry, Chlo. Let's take better care of Chlo. Or what else have I been doing? Sometimes it's basic needs. Like, sometimes I'm like, Chlo, you are tired. Or why are you watching this YouTube video at 2:00 in the morning? Please go to sleep. We are tired. Come on, don't be treating yourself like that. Come on, we're trying to be the best version of ourselves here. And so, like, it might look like that, like just being like, sometimes it looks like me saying like, relax. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. Relax. And I don't. There's just so many different. Sometimes it's like, nah, that was trash. That was really bad. Like, you was really mean. You need to go and apologize. Sometimes it's like, no, we're not very good at that. We probably, we've tried it a few times. We probably should stop that. Like, it can look like anything. And so, like, maybe, like, ask yourself that question. Do you know what I mean? Like, what does my self-talk look like? And can I improve it? Or is it, like, super negative? And I had to really square up myself in my meeting by myself. And kind of, like, question, like, am I okay? And do I talk to myself like somebody who would want to work for myself? Do you know what I mean? As a self-employed person, I am my own employee, and would I want to be employed by myself? And so, like, yeah, I think positive self-talk is kind of like babying yourself and being like, sis, you need to eat, or being like, sis, we need to work on that. Like, and being loving enough to be honest, but also being loving enough to actually, like, be like, oh, like, that was good. That's good. Well done. We're done. So, yeah, hopefully something made sense out of that rant. If not, EJ can just cut out. So I wanted to use like an example, even though I've already used example, I wanted to use an example of myself. And this is when I first was like, bro, you need to sort out how you talk to yourself, because you don't be chatting to yourself nice, and that's not nice for me and my homegirls. And so let's talk about the relationship that I have with exercise and gyms, right? Specifically gyms. Because gyms, I don't like them. I don't like them. But maybe I need to stop saying that, because that's actually producing not liking things, but negative things, anyway. So how does Chloe see the gym? Chloe sees the gym not very positively, as you can see. And Chloe has had to, like, why am I sometimes I wonder why I talk to myself in third person, but I genuinely, like, if I might as well sit down and record myself talking to myself, because I do it anyway. Do you get what I mean? So anyway, so Chloe's relationship with the gym is like not that great. I don't know. I just see it as a place of suffering, and I don't see the rewards, because I never stay long enough to actually reap them. And so that's how she is. But also, when Chloe goes to the gym, Chloe don't actually speak to herself quite nice, and so Chloe's just trying to get in and get out. Chloe feels great after she leaves the gym, but that's about the only good thing about the gym leaving for her. And I'm so sorry if I've hurt your feeling, if you're a gym head. I mean, actually, all the power to you if you're a gym head, because, like, how? I need what you got. But for me, like, it's just like, I don't like doing things that I know I'm doing things. If that makes any sense. I don't like doing things to do things. You know what I mean? Like, why do I have to do things to do things? Like, why do I have to do things to get a result? Why can I not just be fit and healthy and not be panting after 2 steps up the stairs? Like, why? Do you get? Why can I not? What's going on? After I turned 25, like, legit, like, my body just said, you're on your own, boy. You're on your own, girl. You on your own. Like, we're gonna just do different things. We're gonna go with gravity. We're gonna go with gravity. That is so TMI. Anyway, but I still lost my train of thought. What you talking about, girl? What you talking about? What you talking about? Yeah, the relationship that I have with gym. Basically, in short, I don't have a good relationship with the gym. But I started realizing that I don't have a good relationship with myself in the gym, because there'll be loads of things that I want to do that I can't do, that I don't have enough patience with myself to actually do, if that makes any sense. So I've really been trying to work on that, because that ain't good. And like, I be trying to like complete a workout, but be talking to myself really badly. Like, oh, you're so rubbish. Like, you didn't complete that set. Like, we never ever finish our sets. Why? Why are we here? What is the meaning of life? Like, I was literally talking to myself so badly and trying to expect good results out of something that I'm not actually creating a good environment for. And so I had to really like have a good old board meeting with myself and be like, sis, this ain't cute. We need to work on it. And so, yeah, that's what I've finally stopped talking about myself in third person. That's what I'm trying to do. And I've seen the positives of talking to myself nicely. Like, I've seen it. Like, sometimes I'll be struggling through a set and I'll be like, sis, we got this. Or I might stop and I have like 3 to 5 more reps left. And I'm like, bruh, we can do this. We can. I believe in you, sis. We've done this before. We can do it. And like, I kid you not, I do it. I complete the set. Like, I complete the reps. And I'm like, well, that wasn't even that easy. And because it's been so positive, like, I've been trying to take it into different areas of my life. Like, I am the biggest procrastinator in the world. I seem to think. And I know exactly what I need to do. Like, don't tell me what to do. I know what to do. I probably can even write you up a nice little plan and it look pretty and it's color coordinated and spend all the day writing that plan. But when it comes to actually executing the plan, she's not your girl. Oh, no, actually, she can't. Girl, you can be that girl. You just need to, figure out how we actually get from the plan to the executing it. So I have really been trying when it comes to like tasks that she doesn't want to do, I don't want to do. Stop talking about yourself in the third person, Chlo. I have really been that same, my own personal PT. Do you know what I mean? Like, Chlo, we can do this. We've done it before. Let's break it down. Let's make it smart. Let's make it specific, measurable, achievable, put a timeline on it, and let's really do this, because we can do it. And I've seen, like, I've gone from heights to heights, because like my friend Jay would say, higher heights, higher heights, higher heights, higher heights. But like, yeah, we've gone to higher heights, you know what I mean? Like, we have really I have really like found good tools, and they've been found in how I speak to myself. And so I don't know, like, maybe like, what in your life, what is the worst, how do I say this in a question? Like, for you, like, let's flip it around, like, for you personally, like, because I don't want my podcast to just be like a place where you come to listen to me chat up. Like, I want it to be places where we're all growing, because like, I don't claim to know I don't claim to know anything, really. I'm just here just really talking out my thoughts. And so I'm not here saying that I've made it, or I've been there, done that. I'm trying to say that this is what we're working on. So kind of, sort of hold me accountable, but also don't, because that really hurts my feelings when you say that, when I actually don't do what I say, and you're like, you actually, but also do that, like, also, because that is part of growing, but also don't. Okay, that makes no sense, Chlo. But yeah, so what is this, like, is there something in your world, like mine is gym, and I've been able to take, which is probably the most negative one, and I've tried my best, and I still am trying to, like, not be so mean to myself. And so sometimes, yeah, I actually give myself hugs. I know that sounds so weird and kind of lame, but like, I just be like, bring it in, Chlo. bring it in. We've had a hard, long week. Let's bring it in. Or, that was quite a stressful situation. Let's bring it in. And I think probably the beginning, I'm trying to think, where did this self-talk thing come from? I mean, it also was gym, but I spent this whole year in therapy. And let me tell you something. Even for me, I'm a rave about therapy until I'm KO'd. I'm in the grave and we with Jesus singing our song, eating our chicken wings. You know what I'm saying? Our manna chicken wings. Sometimes I think I wonder if we'll actually have food in eternity. Because obviously we need food now to sustain ourselves and stuff. And that's one of Earth's amazing things. But what if we don't eat? Girl, we ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about that. I can't remember what we was talking about anyway. So yeah, what I was trying to say is, do you have something like that? What is the place where you speak most negatively about yourself, and can you improve that? How did I do that? Well, if you're anything like me and you kind of struggle with how you talk to yourself or relate to yourself, it may not be in everything, but it may just be in this particular place. Here's what I did. You don't have to do it. Probably something else might work better for you. But for me, this is what I did. I adopted that. I mean, I've already told you. I don't really know what I'm saying again. But I tried to adopt that whole how I talk to myself and trying to kind of baby myself again. And that kind of, the roots of that is from therapy. It is from going back to my childhood and talking to my younger self and kind of being like, is you okay? And yeah, man, she's been in therapy all year and I'm not afraid or ashamed to say that. Okay, so basically just how do you talk to yourself, and is there any way that you can improve that? Because that would be great for yourself, for the little you inside of you. So I'm gonna bring this to a close because I don't really know what else to say. I'm gonna leave you with two scriptures. The first is Proverbs 23 verse 7. It says, "For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he." And I think the way I pursue that is just the way I understand that is kind of whatever you're worshipping, whatever you're putting all your attention on is kind of who you are, And so if you are placing it in things that are rubbish, then you're kind of going to produce rubbish, you know what I mean? It's a bit like you can't expect an apple tree to bear pineapples, because that's just not its function. And the same way we don't function like that, whatever we feed is going to eventually come out. And so maybe the question is what are you feeding yourself? How you speak about yourself probably relates to your environment. And is there anything in your environment that you can change to see yourself or speak to yourself better? Like I said in my point before, I really think that what we say to ourselves reflects on how we see ourselves, which then reflects on our own identity and how we personally see ourselves and view ourselves, and where that's found. In Philippians 4 verse 8, it says, it gives us some ideas of where we can put our thoughts, because I think our thoughts is pretty much how we think is going to be how we think towards ourselves and everything else. So how we think can be measured by a quite a good stick, and that comes from the Bible. And and I think, if you look at Philippians 4 verse 8, it says what you should be thinking on and what can produce good fruit and what can produce, positive self-talk stuff, positive things from your life. So I hope that I haven't bored you to death by chatting to you for as long as I have chatted to you. Thank you guys for watching or listening to podcast. No, wait, that's not what I'm called. Conversations with Chlo, season 2, episode 1, self-talk. I really hope you enjoyed it and you join me again for my next episode. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about yet, but it might be good. So come back. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. I'm Chlo Rihanna. Yeah. Oh, on YouTube. Chlo Rihanna Drums. I think that's my name. Okay, bye.